Welcome to RBS, and today we are having a look at the Tata Tiago. It's a very nice, bold and beautiful car, especially with this color. It's a very vibrant color. It looks good with this projector headlamp treatment, but no DRLs unfortunately. Gets a small chrome lip across the car, makes it look very good. Nice stunts for a small car, I mean especially keeping in mind the competitors, the Kwid, the Celerio and all that. It's a very contemporary car. Towards the side we have beautiful 16-inch alloy wheels, diamond cut, look really good with the profile of the car. ORVMs with indicators, nice big petal ORVMs like that in the Tata Harrier. Blacked out roof adds to the sportiness of the car. Very nice sturdy car. On the rear it gets this nice spoiler for added downforce. The tail lamps are really sharp and they look very good with the car. The only thing is they could have given that red stoplight over there, made it look more like a Nissan GTR. One grievance of the car is you cannot really open the boot through a manual release in the rear. You have to do it from inside or manually through the key. Kind of old school. I believe they should have given it a latch in the rear. Now this is an extra. It's an extra speaker set and a subwoofer set. It gives the car real good bass. Very beautiful car. Now the front is set to my driving position, around 6 feet. Let's just have a look how comfortable it's up in the rear. I should tell you there is... okay, you just cannot sit, at least for my height, you cannot. Let's just move on to the front seat where it all matters, because anyways, that's where we are all going to be. Okay, so let's quickly start the car. The 3-cylinder motor. Nice sound for a 3-cylinder, not that bad actually. So there's nothing special or different about the car. The interiors is good. The plastic is on the harder side. Yes, there is a lot of piano black finish, a lot of piano black treatment around the car, but not particularly a fan of the plastics. The blue lighting you see is obviously an addition. The air vents are color coded with the exterior. That's a nice touch. You get the window adjustment over here. The touchscreen is very nice to use. It's actually okay, quick to respond. But one thing that I do not like about the touchscreen is there is no volume dial. So you either got to adjust to that or you got to adjust to this thing on the steering wheel. So it's not that convenient when you're on the go. If there was a dial, much easier. You got your fog lamp controls here, your eco mode. Eco mode, it actually cuts the engine power down. It is not nice to drive in eco mode in the city. Central locking buttons over here, but a lot of empties, especially in the top end variant. I don't think that's a very good thing. The AC is really powerful. It's very nice. But one thing about the AC is the gap in the center. It sort of looks like the display where you would get details about your aircon, but unfortunately no, it's just pretty dull. It's dumb. Whatever you do here, you get the display on the touch screen. They could have just incorporated here, much have been a little bit more better. The gear shifter is nice and sturdy. The gear shifter to steering wheel, not that bad. It's really cool. Has some quirks. This particular thing over here, it's normally concealed, so if you have any shopping bags, you're dropping it down, it tends to move back and forth. Well, you can just open this thing up and hook it in. Few things about the interior I do not like is this. I don't know if you can see, but it moves. It moves, and this particular thing. This is dangerous. So basically it's there on both the sides. So normally in a car you would get a plastic cap over here, but in this unfortunately you do not get it. So in case you are over a pothole or a speed break and you tend to move your head, you will hit it. So that's it for the interiors of the Tiago. Let's get in the driving part of the car. I'm catching a lot of traffic, evening time, the worst time to do this. Got a good shift. Second gear, is it tall enough? Do we have enough road? No, it does not. And 100. So the weight of the car, as I told you before, being about 1000 kgs, gives it real good stability. You can maneuver it in and around and it sticks on. It sticks onto the road. Even on jumps such as this, it does not give you a sort of discomfort. In fact, the Tiago is even heavier than the Baleno, which is a class above. Tiago is about 1000 kgs and that's about 800-ish. Just the ease with which the Tiago does things, you know. It makes you feel like it's such a big car, and Tata has always been spot on with that. Even the Indica, being a smaller car, would always feel big, always be spacious and always feels good, but it never felt good to drive. But the new generation of Tata cars actually feel good enough to drive to, and that's pretty good. The ground clearance is really good on this one. That's a huge speed breaker, a huge speed breaker. There are few things which are neglected, few important things like this. The visibility is a little poor, especially because of that big fat thick A-pillar. It blocks out a lot of view. I can understand why the Harrier customers complain about it, because if it's so huge in a Tiago, just imagine that on a Harrier. Look at that, 4 people on a Facine at first. Omni ambulance, balls he has to go that fast. This is yeah, it got through. See, I told you, the power is dead on this one. You need to go above 3,500 RPM for it to give you something, and then it just dies out of 5,500 RPM. It dies out. It's a very short power band for this thing. A turbo could have really helped me out there. It could have really helped me. I can't believe how people drive this with an AMT. So we spoke about the performance aspect of the car, how the suspension deals with the blind spot and all that. About the interiors, I think this is where the Tiago falls a little bit down, because you get shitloads of engine noise, a lot of it, and not a good noise. It's that sort of rattly noise that I don't want to hear in a car, and it's hard plastics everywhere. It's hard plastics wherever you touch. The horn feels like you have to punch through it. I mean, this is where the competitors, the Swift, yes, it is lightweight, it is flimsy, it won't listen to you, but the interiors is something, you know, where your family sits and your family is impressed by that. It's all soft touch materials and that round air vents designed like an aircraft car, turbine and all that stuff. It attracts people, and that's where I think the Tiago falls down. Otherwise, it's a pretty solid car, even for a tall person, and you can rip it apart with little bit of keeping the RPMs up. But it goes with the gear pretty well. I mean, the gearbox and the engine, it feels like it can take a beating. It stops. Trust me, it stops. Let's see it. Pull. So this is where it's slow. Now it's up on its paces. See, you can see the engine really struggling to keep it up there. 5.5 still pulling, 6 still pulling, and we're out of road. I wanted to show you how the needle turns red. In this, there's no red line. If you look, the needle actually turns red when it gets near the red line. It is a good gimmick, but when you're actually on it, you sort of have to guess where the needle's going to turn. Like even on a turn like this, at around 6,000 RPM, it's planted and it's sure-footed. Amazing little car. After driving this, I just want to drive the JTP to see how it is. Because this is joy. See, the needle goes red, right at 6,000 RPM. Joy, what a joy to drive. I'm pretty damn sure you can't do that with the Swift. I'm pretty damn sure this can't do it. An amazing little car. And it looks pretty funky too, you know, it's not the standard white, silver and blue. It has a vibrant range of colors. The interiors can be specced out. It has loads of options. Looks very funky from the outside. But I think the biggest competition to the Tiago is not outside, but within the brand, the Ultras. Because keeping in mind that this is around 6 lakhs and you pay 70-80k more, you can just get the Ultras. A car with more legroom, a car with more features. Amazing. You got to keep it above 4,000 RPM though. But I'm not sure how economical is it going to be above 4,000 RPM. They give you an eco mode, which apparently, according to Tata, cuts down the engine power. It's already 85 bhp. I don't know how much you're going to cut, but in eco mode it does feel sluggish. I think they're restricting the air to fuel ratio. And in lower gears, especially when you're doing speed bumps and all, it doesn't it doesn't really go in eco. I think you just leave it in the city. Eco is just irritating. It's just a way of pissing someone off. You want to irritate someone, pop it into eco, let him drive. Barricades to slow us down. Yes. It's not a racetrack. No indicators. Cool. Nice guy. Steering is spot on. Steering is spot on. It is an electrical steering. Somehow feels more heavier. Somehow feels more mechanical. Apart from the sluggishness, apart from the small lack in acceleration, it's pretty good in the handling front. The suspension does a lot of work, very good, especially for a car this small and for a car this heavy. Tiago gang. See? It gets it done pretty quick. It's like a heavier version of a go-kart. So, should you consider the Tiago for your next purchase? I mean, why not? Tata has focused a lot on drivability, handling and safety of the car. But yes, the NVH level needs to be worked on. I hope they've taken care of it in the facelifted model. And of course, the seatbelt cover. I'm not sure if that is particular to this car or they're in all Tiagos. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments below. Tata has been stereotyped for way too long now, and they've come a long way from the humble beginnings. I think it's time we give them a chance. Just drop in, take a test drive and feel it for yourself. Thank you guys for all the support. Do like and subscribe and do let us know which car you'd like to see next.